the Emperor's envoy. Inquisitor Ludwig said you might be heading this way. As am I, in a way. Forgive me. I'm Captain Alfir, captain in the Steel Garrote.
Oh merde.
If you're here to speak with Vidaro, I'm afraid you'll find the governor is quite beyond reason. These Valians and their love of animancy.
Métaphysiquement parlant.
While they theorize and do nothing, the sickness spreads. But worry not, envoy. The Steel Garrote will be ready to ensure the safety of Adiran interests when the time comes. We all have our part to play, envoy. Until later.
She's as subtle as a broadside.
Does subtle mean something different outside of Solus?
Oh, who's Delamgan? They're not evil, it is just in their nature to push back.
Can I... Welcome to Poria in Velino, the finest legitimate apothecary of Emerald Stair.
Pardon. Ah putain, ça peut presque valoir le coup de l'acheter en vrai. Hein. Oh, de l'Adra éveillé en cœur.
Prices seem a bit steep.
Genuine healing feast. Purest in all of Eora.
Oh, you startled me. This old woman can get lost in prayer from time to time. You must be the Adiran envoy I've been hearing about. Apologies for any hardships you may have experienced getting here. The failing crops, the strange beasts, and even the dream scourge are all the result of our neglect of the dead. I was calling on the spirits of the recently dead to follow the guidance of Bareth, god of death. I am asking the spirits to forgive us for our negligence and continue on their way without anger. The dead of Fjord expect certain rituals to be carried out. I have failed to perform those rituals, and now the spirits are angry. That's exactly it! Well done! I have always observed it, and I brought it with me when I came to Fjord. Our recent dead require a final meal to ease their passage from life. Without it, they can't rejoin the cycle.
You've got people waiting in line for their next meal, and you want to waste food on the dead?
I got food from the grain merchant stores. I just need someone to leave it at the graves. The dead will take it from there.
Flesh and bone. They bring the fruit to those who cannot eat. What tree calls for its branches to endure these rituals?
The ritual heals all. The spirits get one more taste of life, and the living get to offer one last gift to the dead. You must take these offerings of food and place them at 3 grave sites where the recently dead lay. The first offering goes to a cliffside grave on the southern coast.
Okay.
The second offering goes to a grave in the swamp, far to the west from here.
Okay.
The final offering should be taken to the truffle farm east of Fjord, where a family lost their lives to the encroaching wilds. I believe it will do exactly that. The spirits will find closure and rest, and the living can move on from this recent tragedy. Be careful, friends. The angry spirits lash...
Next time you want to tour graveyards, I'm staying at camp. We should help the living and let the dead rest.
I can't thank you enough for helping to ease the conscience of an old lady.
Empty again.
Seems that way.
Vidaro says the current crop is promising, though.
How can he know that? He's not a farmer.
Be patient. He hasn't steered us wrong before.
Continuons à voler impunément n'importe quelle maison.
I am not accustomed to failure. Neither am I. But it happens to the best of us. No. They made up their minds before we even started.
What's the meaning of this?
Look at these crops. Look at your city. The Dream Scourge is laying waste to our home.
There is no Dream Scourge in Emerald Stair.
The land begs to differ, and I can prove it.
We can discuss this in private.
We are discussing it now. How can you ignore what's right in front of you? The Dream Scourge is here, in the soil, and it's killing us. Oh my goodness. Are you a godlike? In that case, you're right on time.
Maybe you can talk some sense into our governor. Put the fear of the gods in him.
Tempers are high, but I don't see any assassins. Yet.
Excuse me, but unless you have official business, I'll thank you not to involve yourself in our private discussion. Very well. I hope you remember that behind these walls, your influence has limits.
I'm sure he didn't come all this way just to challenge your authority. As you can see, I was just proving a point to our esteemed governor.
A cart full of spoiled vegetables. You call that a point?
Ha! Emerald Stair used to be a lush garden for miles around, and now I don't even recognize it. First came the invasive species, roots and mycelium growing overnight, as though nature itself had gone mad. The Dream Scourge has twisted our lands, our wildlife, and now, our farms. Indeed. We were fighting the Dream Scourge before it even had a name. I believe that we can restore the land, bring back its soul and its sanity, cut off the Dream Scourge at the root. Our governor would rather ignore the problem. He doesn't trust animancy as his father did.
They do. And that's the kind of reckless behavior I'm trying to avoid.
Reckless is all we have time for. Before we can deal with the Dream Scourge, we first need to understand it. Unfortunately, new experiments have to go through him.
Must be nice that all the arguing isn't about you, for once.
I'm just trying to stop Chiata from hurting herself. Animancy is dangerous when you're shooting in the dark. I see you're unfamiliar with animancy. You don't appreciate just how dangerous that could be. Are you going to tell him about your family's basement? Or should I?
How dare you use that against me?
I know it was an accident, but look what it cost you. We can't let it happen again.
While we argue among ourselves, the Dream Scourge is tearing the living lands apart. Tearing our people apart. Really? Unexpected from an Adiran. But how could I refuse an offer like that? Well, Governor, looks like I'm taking some time away from my duties. I'll trouble you no more.
Your request is denied, Chatta.
I wasn't asking.
Your responsibilities are to the settlement. Turning away from them sets a precedent that I cannot allow.
Everything I have proposed has been for Fior, and you still refuse to cooperate. Under the circumstances, I don't have much of a choice.
Then neither do I. Giatta Castel, from this day forth, you are banished from Fior Messiverno.
Whoa, you're banishing her for that?
What?
Ignacy, we can't lose our brightest animancer in the middle of a crisis.
Your pupil has gone too far, Quilici. Take her and leave. You're still a guest in my town, but to us, Giatta is an outcast. Perhaps, but I can't just let her continue to poison the minds of my animancers.
They aren't your animancers. Your father understood that.
Don't bother, old man. He isn't his father. I've done all I can for Fior Messiverno. But you haven't even tried. Now limp back to your giant house like a good dog. We should talk somewhere private. Meet me at my house due west by the workshop.
Another mouthful. Maybe we'll need to let Kai hunt more after all.
I've got a powerful feeling we weren't.
Ignacy's mother is very ill. Please, don't disturb her anymore.
Oh, t'inquiète pas que je vais déranger qui je veux comme je veux, je suis chez moi. Ah, lui, il a pas d'argent à côté de son maintien. Là, ça se trouve, on va lire plus. Hein. Ok. Je vais bien me balader chez toi, toi. Permets, je vole tes livres 2 secondes. Et c'est bon, je les ai tous. Ah.
I'm sorry you had to witness that spectacle. Whatever, you... Quilici wants us panicking over what he can't even prove. If there's a threat to Emerald Stair, it's that old man and his fear-mongering. Don't waste your time on him. For your sake.
This Nimdude wouldn't see a Balrog coming if it did a little dance right in front of him.
I knew I heard someone snooping about. And this conversation is... That is not a topic for discussion. I'll hear no more of this.
Relax, Amakul, just asking questions.
Ok. Donc le gouverneur sait pas quoi faire, du coup il panique, du coup il fait de la merde et du coup...
Well, I was not expecting such an esteemed guest in my humble works. Is that... Gilard? This is Starmer. Very rare stuff. Where did you get this? Nay, don't tell me. I'd be tempted to go looking for some more, and that would certainly not end well. Ah, no. Unfortunately, I don't know how to work the metal into anything useful. Only enchanted. I did receive a shipment from Solace Keep recently, however. A mace crafted out of star metal, brought to me by a trader from Galloway's Tusks. I suggest you make your way there if you're looking for someone to work that beautiful metal into a proper weapon.
Galloway's Tusks? Come on, it can't be that complicated. I bet you 5 skates a Smith and Thirdborn would know what to do with this stuff. And I'll take your money eventually.
Is there any...
Ah bah c'est ça, ça doit être ça, l'épée en astrométal qui parlait.
Welcome to my fine establishment, amigo.
Ok, c'est pour retourner au marché d'émeraude. Ah.
Found the machine. Excuse me, but I'm not that busy.
Ah, il te manque une pièce, connard.
Madra is healthy. It's the essence I'm concerned about.
Je le sais parce que j'ai passé ma manette dessus.
You're beginning to sound like Giada.
Have you ever stopped and listened to her? She might be onto something.
I'm sure her mother and father are on this. And look what happened to them.
Bon anniversaire trop tôt. Mon anniversaire c'est le 24, c'est juste que comme je vais rentrer tard du taf etc, en fait il y aura sûrement pas de live ce jour là. C'est pour ça que je fais le live maintenant. Et merci beaucoup Loki, j'espère que tu vas bien, merci beaucoup. Malheureusement la vie fait que... j'ai pas pu prendre le jour que je voulais. Mon anniversaire et donc du coup... on fait le live un petit peu plus tôt. Ah, ça va très bien, merci. Bonjour, t'es bien?
Look out for her, Fidelio.
Putain, c'est
How
tort.
hard could that have been? If I could help myself, do you think I'd be in here? I don't mean that. I have a lot on my plate.
C'est un bon vendredi, prête pour le week-end. Oh, j'ai fait la liaison après.
My 2 youngest rangers were supposed to report back from their rounds. I assumed they'd turn up. But it's been 3 days now.
Oh, ils sont morts.
They're still not here.
Oui, ils sont morts.
Brasilia. Their names are Belena and Adalaro. I doubt they'll be apart. They were good rangers once. But since they've caught each other's eye, all they do is sneak off to...
On a se connaître, tremper la plume dans l'écrier. J'adore cette expression.
I wouldn't have put it that way, but...
Tremper la plume dans l'encrier.
Well, there's worse places to make the four-legged beast. I promise you that.
New recruits running off with each other? Oh man, this brings me back.
Anyway, I never thought I had any cause for concern. They always found their way back eventually, but they haven't this time. They're out there, all alone, and they could be in danger, and I... Look at this place. Sinkholes to the left, bad crops to the right. Everyone here is exhausted. This is the first rest I've had in days. Meanwhile, the Animancers and Vidaro fiddle with their experiments. But that's no concern of ours until my rangers come home. The last time I saw them, I sent them to patrol the northern road.
Sinon, il faut que j'y aille.
If you go that way, please, keep an...
Two young Nimdutin wandering out by...
Mike. Well, apologies for the...
Oui, c'est pas grave. Super drôle.
I'm... Except they are the only Animancers.
Oui, d'accord, mais moi je veux juste...
Believe me, we've all heard the rumors from
oui.
Although I admit Fior is in a bad way. We've had crops fail before, but the governor says it's just that. So, we ought...
Ça tombe bien, voilà, parfait, merci, enfin. C'est juste pour me répéter ce que j'ai vu dehors, vraiment j'en ai pas besoin. Ok, bon.
Welcome back, envoy.
Donc il y a la habite là. Soit le Diata. Mettons le Diata. Hop, on lui vole son bouquin sur les éléments. Sur à boire. L'argent. Pas d'argent à côté du bain. C'était que dans les maisons riches qu'il y avait ça. Hein. C'est que chez les riches qu'il y avait de l'argent à côté du bain. Excuse-moi, je vais voler ton saucisson. Plein de trucs à bouffer à la au camp. Cool. On pense se restock un petit peu en bouffe et compagnie. Un prototype, blablabla. Jata.
I'm sorry you had to see that. What an asshole.
Giata, some manners, if you please.
Why start now?
We're on the verge of extinction, but our governor is too busy protecting his fragile ego. Because they're cowards. To them, I'm just a cautionary tale. A fallen Animancer.
You did challenge his authority.
I know, but... Curses. Without Fior Misiverno, I'm hardly even an Animancer. My tools, the workshop, all gone. So am I. At least now I'm free to study whatever I want. On my terms. The Dream Scourge has been a thorn in my side for too long. I have plans for this island, and they don't involve the Dream Scourge. But that's a story for another day.
Your parents would be proud to see such tenacity.
Anyway, listen to us babble. Let's talk about you. I never expected to see an Nadiran envoy here. You've got a lot of guts showing your face in a town full of Animancers. It's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure. Our first order of business is the Dream Scourge, but I'm also curious about you. There aren't many godlike left these days.
Faut me regarder comme si j'étais une sorte d'expérience.
Indeed. Some of my colleagues would fight me for the opportunity to study you. I only bring it up because Animancy might offer us some insight into your nature. Keep an open mind. While I pack up my belongings, you can help me by... I don't even know. I just realized this is the end. I have to leave your Misiverno. Forever.
Ah, tous les dieux, Kulesi! Dites quelque chose!
You may not see it from this vantage, my dear, but you have outgrown these walls. I always knew this day would come, just as I knew how much it would pain you.
Please, just leave. That's all I ask.
Quilici, I will make you proud.
Oui, je mets toujours ça.
I promise.
Oh, j'ai mis.
Once again, you missed the point. You have made me proud, Giada.
Thank you. I'm ready. Well, not ready. We have a few loose ends to tie up first. When it comes to the Dream Scourge, we haven't been allowed to acknowledge the problem, much less act on a solution. Today, that changes. I need help from the animancers around town, but as you can see, I'm an outcast. Glad to hear it. Your education should come in handy. Monto Pastor is in the workshop due west. He's got an invention that can help us. Elia Rossell is an authority on the undead. Her methods are controversial, but useful. She lives in a cottage southeast of town. And then there's Yvette and Remy, our philosophers. You'll find them at the docks, southeast of Fjord. Each of them owes me a favor. Drop my name and they'll tell you what they know about the Dream Scourge.
Nickel.
We're about to make history. But first, research.
Guessing she's not much of a hunter. Might want to get extra rations next time we go shopping.
Out of the pub.
Godlike, Imperial Envoy, Research Assistant. Who knew?
Monto, non pardon, c'est Elia qu'on a croisé qui était au début de la zone. C'était plus côté côté est. Le reste après, c'est plutôt nord. On va qu'on regarde si on a des quêtes à faire à proximité, on a récupéré quelques quêtes secondaires, donc on aura sûrement des choses à faire. Yeah.
Yeah, I pretty much brought that paper down by myself.
Et bien sûr.
Did you now? Captain was
Oh, les dégâts que ça fait.
Glad that's over.
Alors, on va passer par point C en premier, puis ensuite on ira vers la ferme, donc vers Elia après.
First, my wife runs off to Paradis, and now this.
This place could use a broom or two. Maybe a team of carpenters.
Ah, a new. There may not be much left.
There may not be much left. Ça, c'est pas une invitation à monter sur les trucs. On veut dire qu'il y a du loot en haut. On veut pas Métis. Hop, 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 hop. Oh, du loot! Développer sur les une envie. Je suis jamais lancé. J'avais très envie de faire un sort de platformer à la con. Bon, amusez-moi de le faire, mais après, quand il été fun, je sais pas. Mais... quelque chose que je me suis toujours dit qu'un jour je ferais peut-être. Si déjà j'arrive à me remettre dans le bain du développement, ce qui serait cool.
The great mystery is, are godlike blessed or cursed? The gods are silent on this question.
Neither. They just are. Anything else is speculation. Remy, look what I found. A genuine godlike.
Do you think they can hear us?
Let's find out. Hello, me, Yvette. You friend? Remy, take a note. The endangered godlike's vacant gaze betrays an unquenchable thirst for violence. We heard that Giada partnered up with an outsider, but I had no idea you were a godlike. Fascinating.
It's just that we've never met a godlike before. This is a big day for us.
Giada must have sent you to be our test subject. She knows how we adore your kind. Satisfy our curiosity and we'll give you everything Giada needs to finish her research. Deal?
Let's begin the examination. If you could choose, who or what would you be in your next life? Next time you go around the wheel, you might not get so lucky.
Hmm.
Who wouldn't? My turn.
Normal, quoi.
Some would call you blessed. Others would call you cursed. The fact remains, you were touched by the gods.
Oui.
Wouldn't you say that you owe something to the rest of us? So, you believe we need your help. Interesting.
Oh, I thought of another. We
C'est pour ça
all
qu'il est fait en
know
fait
the
tout ce qu'on dit.
godlike can't
Alors.
reproduce. How do you plan on leaving a legacy after you're gone?
Ce sont les pires questions que j'ai entendues.
Well, there's no reason to be rude.
Bah, what the fuck.
I think that covers everything. Thank you for that brilliant insight,
J'étais
godlike.
adorable.
You're a credit to your dwindling kind.
So, Giada wants to know all about the Dream Scourge, yes? Such has been her research of late. Do you want the good news or the bad news?
The Dream Scourge is proof that an unprecedented metaphysical disaster can take place at any time.
Oh, that's a load off my mind. Sure beats not constantly worrying about the future.
How's that good news?
Giada will be interested to learn that the Dream Scourge cannot just be studied in a lab. Its nature is wild, so it has to be studied in the wild. Our machines and experiments would meddle with it too much.
And like anything affecting the soul, it must be connected to essence. Thus, if she
To
wishes to
essence.
discover more about the Dream Scourge, a Pillar of Adra would be a good place to start.
Precisely. A godlike and a scholar, too. Incredible.
Oui, bah quand même, je suis pas débile.
Indeed. Just as Adra channels essence, so too may it provide a key to discovering more about the Dream Scourge.
Not that we'd ever be interested in such research, of course. How droll.
Que dois-je faire de l'entité attachée à mon âme, quoi?
An entity, you say? If this entity is your patron, that's all perfectly natural. But if it's something else, with enough essence and a capable animancer, perhaps you could trace this tether back to its source.
Right, and with a little fresh sake, you can follow an ogre back to its lair. Still wouldn't recommend it.
Just be careful that your tether doesn't snap back and kill you in the process.
Now that we've researched the mind of a godlike, the next step is anatomy. But we've taken enough of your time. Farewell. Did you
Hurry, before they change their minds.
Ugh, I might have dozed off there for a bit. Were any of those words the ones we needed?
Allons voir la gérante de la ferme aux morts-vivants.
Anvo. Giata Castel wants my professional opinion. What an honor. I have a few theories, but no firm conclusions. I have to ask, is it true? Did Vidaro kick her out of town? That's our governor for you. Self-righteous even in his own ignorance. Very well. I'll tell you what I know about the Dream Scourge. But first, I need some help around the farm. I'm up to my ears in chores around here, and the Revenants can only do so much. They can't do complicated tasks, you see. Anyway, I'm afraid the time has come to put down poor Silvo. You did? That was quick. Poor Silvo. He was a bright young rebel, but a very old man. Thank you for giving him peace. So, the Dream Scourge. I've been keeping an eye on the readings from my fields. This plague, as we know it, is a recent development. But I believe whatever causes it is older by far. Maybe even as old as the living lands. The exotic plants and animals, the twisted landscape, the Dream Scourge. They have a common ancestor. There's something about the essence in the living lands that's different from anywhere else I've seen. Quite right. A broken clock is right twice a day, after all. Adra is a conduit for essence. So maybe you'll find a connection between the essence and the Dream Scourge.
Plus ça avance, plus j'ai l'impression quand même qu'on est connecté à un truc
fort. A very old
fort.
Adra pillar could remember its last brush with the Dream Scourge. Not to get too superstitious, but in these troubled times, the arrival of a godlike is no coincidence. You are meant to be here. Toward what end, only you can say. Well, I'm happy to give her some good news for a change. You and Giat are going to shake things up. As for me, I'll be keeping a close eye on my flock.
Oh, and thank you for the nightmare fuel. I really have been sleeping entirely too well lately.
I'm remembering why...
Déverrouille le niveau 10 des sorts du grimoire, réduit le coût en essence de tous les sorts de grimoire de 15%. Ah, c'est incroyable. C'est-à-dire qu'on a accès à tous ces sorts-là. Ok.
Why people find this place unsettling.
Personnage, on va monter un peu la constitution encore. Localiser la ferme truffière. Ah ici, pour les ok. Qui est aussi ici qu'on n'a pas récupéré. Bonjour.
Ah, Ado. You've caught me at an unfortunate time.
Salutations.
You wouldn't happen to be an anniversaire. God, it's about time somebody like you came along.
D'accord.
If I have to chase down one... I don't know. They just disappear. I wish they would at least come back. Soon I won't have any left. It's not like I enjoy imposing on you, but I'm afraid if I look for them, the rest will wander off.
No.
If Elia finds out, I'll never hear the end of it. I have to have some standards, even at a time like this. You know, maybe there is something. Maybe I know where they went. I've caught them trying to shamble off to the nearby lake before. Revenants aren't very bright. That can't be a coincidence. They must be attracted to something. It could even have power over them. I was hoping you'd say that. Just follow the trail of revenants. Oh, and if you find something, I'd be grateful if you brought it here. I want to see whether it leads the surviving revenants back. The only way to find out is to experiment.
Oui, c'est pas faux. Nouvelle quête. Nouvelle quête. Bon, ça doit chauffer plusieurs quand même. Hein. Pas mal. Ils sont désolés. Ouais. On a un truc là-bas, oui. On va aller faire ça. Exorip comme d'habitude. Il y a des problèmes sur les joueurs d'Exorip. S'il n'y avait pas d'Exorip, c'est parce que c'est inquiétant. Pour... Oh, mauvaise arme.
That's all of them.
Vous êtes chiant à résister à tout là. Pas mal ça. Pas de boucherie.
I guess someone will have to do this for the people who starve to death when the food runs out.
Parfait. Ensuite, on a d'autres choses à proximité. On a les fléaux terrestres. Pas loin. On va y faire un petit tour. Et...
Yeah.
Aïe. On l'air dans les grues.
Something's not right here.
say?
Wow. Aïe.
He's also... I'm sick!
Oh, le combat le plus
We
propre.
make a good squad.
C'est hein. Joie. Et lui il vole, comment il va? Comment? Oh, ça va. Tranquille. Profite du week-end allongé. J'ai pas le jour d'anniversaire pour un gros stream. Oui, parce que mon vrai anniversaire c'est 24. Calmez-vous. Juste que malheureusement, comme j'ai dit au début, j'ai pas le... Alors j'ai pas pu poser le 24 à cause du travail. Du coup on a posé un autre jour pour poser le vendredi pour compenser et on en profite.
I'm sick!
Nickel. Et toi, comment ça va, prêt pour le week-end? J'ai pas d'autres quêtes pour l'instant. Je pourrais continuer en soi, aller voir le truc là-haut, mais oh, c'est con, on va y aller. On peut toujours aller, c'est le week-end. C'est les deux seuls jours qui sont bien.
Tower's for Fjord's Rangers. That's where they stand around and argue about
Listen,
the best route to
we'll
Shatterstone.
get to the bottom of... I agree that this is important, Massoni. But if we don't focus on hunting, people will starve.
How is a potential murderer in our ranks not your top priority? You don't think it's real, is that it? You think I'm jumping at shadows?
One moment, please, Envoy. We were just finishing.
You've got to be kidding me.
I'm not saying it's impossible, Massoni. Only that more immediate dangers require our attention. We'll talk about it later.
Meanwhile, someone's tearing us apart from the inside.
The roots, the sinkholes, the plague, the famine, and now this? It feels like we're besieged on every side.
Mais non, c'est ce que t'es
We've
folle.
suspected the killer among our ranks for several days, but there hasn't been time to investigate.
There hasn't been time? A traitor in your ranks is serious.
I told you I'll do it.
And lose my best hunter to whatever might have taken Monato and Verano? Absolutely not. I cannot risk you, Massoni. We've had to
Massoni.
redouble our hunting to feed Fior, and the bandits and Zarips are running us ragged. Every ranger we lose brings us closer to starvation.
Eh ben, bonne chance.
Two of our best, Monato and Verano, have failed to report back. Neither of them would fall easily to creatures they've faced 100 times before.
Monato is the most skilled tracker we have, and Verano is our most accomplished archer.
I've heard of Monato. He hunted the Black Padfoot a few months back. That thing was impossible to track, but he did it.
You really think one of their own would betray them?
The only threat they wouldn't be prepared for would come from someone they trust.
As if that weren't enough, my rangers spotted a stranger near town this morning. They kept to the shadows, wearing some kind of mask. I wouldn't rule them out, but my men disappeared.
Un mec bizarre avec un masque, moi ça me rappelle surtout mon tueur, mais
Tell him about D'Urso and Casagrada.
All right, Envoy, if you really want to get involved, 2 of my rangers have been acting strangely since the others disappeared. Rangers D'Urso and Casagrada.
That's a powerful accusation to make. I know you Rangers are a tight bunch.
Would they really turn on their own brethren?
Both are good people, but they're connected with my missing men. And they haven't been particularly forthcoming.
Ouais.
I've moved D'Urso and Casagrada to posts just outside Fior. I haven't explained why, but D'Urso's probably figured it out. Speak with them, and follow any leads they might turn up. I'm still not convinced either of them is a murderer, but...
It's better to be sure. You're not the ally we expected to find, but I appreciate it all the same.
Watch yourself in the wilds, Envoy. And Godspeed.
I can't think of much worse than turning on your squad, except having to suspect your own people. We should help them.
Agreed.
Agreed. Et d'abord, je vais looter leur maison de toutes les bonnes choses qu'ils peuvent avoir. Hop. Hop. Ok. Qu'est-ce qu'il y a chez eux? Avec une bolane, un peu d'alcool. Oui, voilà, bah c'est important. Ça marche pas. Bon, ces sauts me font tellement peur à chaque fois, j'ai l'impression qu'on va juste se péter la gueule. Le jeu est assez permissif dans ce qui permet de laisser passer, on va dire. J'ai l'impression d'aller super haut pour une porte barrée quand même là. Bonjour hein. Un arc. De l'Adra éveillé. Et idole de la révolte violente. Comment ça tu te demandes où est-ce qu'il va? Un effort par pitié, je t'en supplie. C'est que cette méthode pour descendre. Hop. Alors on retourne juste ici. Ah bah. Hop là. Voilà. C'est bizarre ce qu'il fait avec ça, parce que j'ai l'impression qu'il la met à l'envers à chaque fois. Oh voilà, nickel. Parce qu'on avait récupéré. Oui. Et là. Hop 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 hop. Merci. Merci pour votre vin. Sera sûrement vendu. Alors, on est où? On est là. Putain, il y a tellement de maps à explorer la map. Les maps. Il y a des maisons et là-bas il y a un camp, c'est ça que je cherchais tout à l'heure. Oh, des rochers roulants. Oui, t'inquiète pas, je vais. Bon. Ah, j'ai pas la base du totem scan donc. Ok, alors déjà on va commencer par démonter tout ce qu'on se sert pas. Sauf le plastron valien, évidemment. J'ai pas assez d'adra pour monter les deux. Donc on verra après. Est-ce que j'ai pas d'adra éveillé? Si, que je pourrais reconvertir en adra. En soit l'adra j'en ai pas besoin tout de suite. Je vais repasser en adra éveillé pour le moment. Ça me permet d'avoir assez pour quasiment tout monter. On va faire qu'un seul, c'est pas forcément utile. On devrait enfin se décider à comment est-ce qu'on améliore la lueur du jour. Est-ce qu'on prend éliminer un ennemi restaure 10% de vos PV maximum, ce qui est quand même assez cool. Une parade réussie applique un assommement élevé à l'adversaire. On va faire ça.
By the way, I never met that Orlan girl before in my life.
What Orlan girl?
Ça raconte, hein. Je comprends pas la...
You remember, the one in the camp in Shadow